All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. The non-being stolen from one here, Nick.
Gabe, the Night Watchman.
And we are super excited to check out some more.
Sebastian Maniscalco. Dude, this dude's hilarious. And again, I grew up around guys like this. That is that South Jersey, New York accent. And listen, I'm telling you, that guy's absolutely not Italian. All right, that's their demeanor. That's the way they speak. They're hilarious. And if you realize too, watching, they speak a lot with their hands. That's really how they are. They speak a lot with their hands or whatnot. And just a lot of emotion when they speak, a lot of jokes and stuff that just, it rings true. That's what the way I grew up. He was talking about the desserts, right? Like your parents would have that special coffee cake or whatever when people would come over or whatever. You couldn't have any. You got the cheap snacks. You guys are peasants. Yeah, that's what it's for company. Like he said, for company. You know what I mean?
You get that crappy muffins.
Exactly. And I mean, his delivery is so funny. I enjoy his stuff. I'm excited to check one out. Naps I don't even know how this will. Naps growing up. Aren't you embarrassed? Like naps growing up?
I think that's like taking a nap when you're older. And the first thing I think about is Joey and Ross from Friends, where they enjoy taking a nap together.
He said, great nap. He said, it really was.
It really was.
And then everybody's looking at them. They're like...
And then Joey's like trying to entice him the whole time. Yeah. He's like, Ross.
He said, I want to do it again. It's weird. That's hilarious.
It's so funny. So I doubt he's going to be doing that, but that's what it makes me think of. If you like our reaction to this in any way, please don't forget to
like and subscribe. I know exactly what he's talking about. Valentine's Day, bro, I was in bed by 10:30. When you get older, I need that midday nap. Exactly. If not, I'll be in bed by 9.
Someone in here loves himself to nap.
10 at latest.
I have a hard time. My wife loves naps. I have a hard time with the naps because there's so much stuff I want to do each day. Like it just takes part of that day. It's tough, but I do have a hard time. I sleep in, and that wastes a lot of day too. All right, here we go.
The world doesn't match my upbringing, okay? The world doesn't match my upbringing, okay? I'm here to tell you that. I grew up with an immigrant family. My father's Sicilian, my mother's Italian. I gotta clarify that, all right?
Yep.
Half Sicilian, half Italian. But if you talk to my father, you're Sicilian. Okay, relax. They instilled work ethic into me at a young age. Young. If you come from immigrants, they don't play around with the work. Okay? I've been working since I've been 8 years old. These people put me to work.
Child labor laws?
I don't know what was going on. I was watching cartoons on a Saturday. My father walked in the living room. He's like, hey, go start a business. Now?
Now?
Right?
Watching cartoons.
They never bought us anything. I come from middle class upbringing. They never bought us a damn thing. They told us who had what we wanted in the neighborhood. I'm like, Dad, can we get a dog? Dog, yeah. 2 houses down. I got a dog. You want to pet an animal? You walk 2 houses down. You pet their dog, and then you come back here and cut my lawn. What? What lawn? Why? What does the lawn have to do with a puppy? What are you talking about?
Crazy.
There was no napping growing up. Once you were up, you were up. Okay? Not like today where the kids are, I'm gonna go take a nap. The mother's like, that's okay, Justin. Go take a nap. You've been up for 2 hours now. You're probably exhausted. So go upstairs, lay down, refresh, and come back down when you're good and ready to operate your day.
That's awesome.
Not my family, okay? Father been living up my ass my entire life. Constantly on me, questioning me. I was an altar boy. He questioned that, right? He's like, do they pay you for this shit at the church? You making any scratch? I had asked the priest for a raise. I said, listen, we know what's going on here. You're collecting a lot of cash during the Mass. and nobody's getting a cut. We need something, okay? The priest says, we don't pay for mass, we pay for funerals. I said, then put me on the funeral circuit. I'll start working funerals, okay?
Funeral circuit.
That's what I was doing.
Out of control.
Working 3-4 funerals a week during my life.
This guy's dying.
He's so he said the master kid, I know what's going on here. Oh gosh, that is classic. Oh man. Oh dude, honestly, I come from immigrant parents, all right? And he's right. Like, to a certain extent, they'd want you to work right away when there was baggage. They would take you to get your first job. You know, nowadays, kids, you know, they stay home until you tell them to get to work. And they'll actually, my son wanted to work. I was like, you don't need a job. What do you need a job for? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird dynamic. But my parents wanted me to work. So that's funny. But, dude, the whole, do I get a cut? I used to also think that, too. And you're like, wait, do those dudes, do they get paid to be up there? You know what I mean? Like doing mass, you're here voluntarily? For free?
He said, put me on the funeral circuit.
He said we don't pay for mass, we pay for funeral. Put me on the funeral circuit. He's out of control.
I love it.
Working 3-4 funerals a week during my lunch hour. During my lunch hour, I would have to wolf down my lunch, which was impossible to do because I had the Italian lunch, okay? My lunch had to be refrigerated in the teacher's lounge, all right? Or it would spoil. I had to fill out a special form that the school wasn't responsible if the veal piccata spoiled in the refrigerator. All right, I had real silverware. Nobody wanted to trade at lunch. Everybody had like American, you know, ho-ho Twinkies. I said, anybody want some S cookies? I got S cookies. Stella Doro. Nobody wants these. And my mother would say, make sure you dip those in coffee. Coffee? Ma, they don't serve coffee in the lunchroom. I'm in 3rd grade. Oh, I'll pack you some coffee then.
Hilarious.
Dude, that hurt. That hurt.
I love it.
He's like, we know what racket you got going on here. And getting all the collections. He said, you and that said, is he giving you a little scratch? That was hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, that was
so
awesome.
Good.
That was awesome. It didn't go where I thought it was going, but it was so much better.
Me neither.
It was so much better. And I mean, even that part was just a small bit of it, but you know, he kind of jumped around with his comedy. He's so funny, man. He's so funny. And you know, one of the things I have noticed with his comedy too is that for the most part it's relatively clean. So it's something you could watch, you know what I mean, with your kids or whatnot. So,
super clean.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. But he's funny, man. He's funny. Did you ever have any of those experiences when you were young, like your parents trying to put you to work?
No. So my older brother and sister, I'm number 3, they never wanted to work. And so they didn't get a job till like maybe 17, 18. So I was like, well, I'm going to show you age. I'll get a job at 16. Like, no, you're not, you moron. So it was 2 weeks before my 17th birthday when I first day of work. So I said, 16,
that
baby.
would be you win by a technicality.
2 weeks, baby.
Just by a technicality.
But I wanted to this or that. But for me to get a car, I first had to get the insurance. For me to get a permit, I had to get the insurance. My parents weren't going to pay for that. So I had to get a job so I could make enough money to pay for my insurance. And this was, back in the 90s, working at Domino's 20 hours a week. So my entire paycheck was insurance, tithing for church, and I had like $20 left over, right? Just so I can drive the car. And then once I had my license, after I had my permit for 6 months, the insurance for 6 months, then I had to pay for a car myself. My parents weren't going to help me out because, they couldn't or whatever. So
right.
We had that, and that really taught me a lot of stuff. There was nothing like handed or granted or given to me. But the naps, my kids love the naps, especially one of my kids. But that same kid, he was asking me just yesterday or 2 days ago, I want to get a job. This place hires 15-year-olds. I want to get a job right away. And I was telling him, I was like, listen, I'll support you if you want to do that. But once you start working, you're talking about 50 years after that of straight working until you can retire. And if you're rich when you're older, you're never going to retire because most rich people never stop working because they want to keep making that money.
Right. No, for sure. And I mean, my kids, for the most part, even the older ones, they do that. But I think also it's because they're athletes. So since they're involved in sports a lot, they come home, after practice, whatever, taking a nap. But, for me, the whole working thing has always been, I had to work at such an early age. I don't want them to experience that. You know what I mean? Like having to work, having to be, their jobs are performing in school and performing in athletics. And that's just always been my, mentality about it. But it's so funny that he meant, the way he addresses it. Like, yeah, if you come from a family that's an immigrant family that comes here from another, it's expected because, Dominican Republic, bro, it's like when you go to Mexico, you see those little kids and stuff like that. You go to Mexico on a cruise or whatever, they're out there working, selling little guns or whatever.
Chiclets, yep.
Same thing Dominican Republic. Like, look, there is no public school. So as soon as you can, like he said, at 8 years old, they're like, hey, one day. But if there's no public school, once you're able to help out in whatever the family business is, that's what you're doing. Whether you're cutting sugar cane, whether you're working at the market, whether you're working at a tire shop, tallereria, whatever it is that you were doing. Unless your family, like my family in the Dominican Republic, were a little bit more affluent, then you can pay and afford to pay to go to school. That's why, as a public school teacher, I advocate and I tell kids all the time, guys, it's a privilege to have an education. No matter what you may think, there's kids around the world that would love to have the opportunity to go to school, and their parents could, it's just a reality. That's what they were born into. So it's a privilege. But dude, again, this guy's funny. I'm so glad. It's funny that our boss, our principal, introduced us to this dude. You know what I mean?
She loves this guy.
She loves this guy. So shout out to her because you wouldn't think, you know what I mean, but principals are people too.
I had never heard of him. He actually just was in a movie recently, so that's the first time I saw his name outside of what she was saying. He's absolutely hilarious. He's one of my favorites already. If you like this reaction, don't forget to hit the like button. Check out our other reactions, and we have 3 other previous ones. And with that being said, until next time,
we know all things.